What's up, y'all? I'm back again for another video. This is your boy Eddie True, and I'm glad to be sitting here talking to you today. But before we get into today's topic, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and please click that notification bell so you get all my content as soon as it drops. So with that being said, let's get into today's topic. Y'all, it's been brought to my attention that Amazon is out here scamming the girls, honey. She's out there scamming and scheming, is taking money out of the girls' pockets, taking money out of the girls' hands, out their refrigerator, honey, out their check. Amazon, what is the tea? Let me tell you something. When this story first came across my newsfeed, I really honestly didn't even believe it. I was like, why would Amazon be scamming tips from its flex drivers? Like, I feel like Amazon's too big for that. Like, to me, it honestly felt like it was just kind of like a story that was blown out of proportion. Maybe a company policy that was misunderstood or misinterpreted by some employees, not all, but some. But come to find out, Amazon was really out here scamming the girls for 2.5 years out of their tips. Not their whole tips, but a portion of their tips. Amazon promised its flex drivers they would get their base pay plus whatever tips that, were given to them, basically. Kind of similar to like a restaurant, I guess. I think restaurants do take a portion of your tips, though, from what I heard. I've never been in the hospitality industry, so I really don't know how tips work. But I do think that restaurants take a certain portion of your tips, and I do think that you have to also tip, like the runners, the bartenders, and stuff like that. I think that's how the restaurants work. But apparently, Amazon had its own policy where they promised to give you 100% of your tips, which I think is only fair because if you're a flex driver, some of these flex drivers, they work late. I mean, sometimes I get packages over here like at 9 o'clock p.m. So flex drivers, they have no type. They have no shame. They have no, they shouldn't. They really honestly are savage and they will deliver to you at 9 o'clock at night because they are trying to put food on the table and they're trying to pay the bills. So if you're going to allow a flex driver to work after hours, 9, 10 o'clock p.m., and you're going to be paying them to do so and they're going to get tips, I just might do it myself if I'm really in that type of situation where I have that kind of time. So it seems like a deal to me. However, I don't see how you're gonna withhold a portion of my tips and not tell me about it. Apparently, the policy had changed at some point during the course of their employment and they were never notified. And that's really the part that I have an issue with because it's not unheard of for companies to change their policies, their pay structure, their bonus structure. That happens a lot too. Bonus structures change on the regular, especially when it benefits the company. It usually does not benefit the employee. But if you're gonna make that kind of change, I'm gonna need that in writing. I'm gonna need to be pulled to the side. I'm gonna need a little huddle, a meeting. Y'all have a huddle and a meeting about everything else. You have a huddle and a meeting about your stats, which how many packages you want us to deliver this week, the goal. You had meetings about that, but you didn't bother to have a meeting telling me that you're gonna withhold some of my tips that I worked hard for. Girl, bye. See, here's my thing. This is okay why I'm a little bit riled up right now, and I have no tolerance for Amazon at this point. Amazon, you are dominating the business right now. Literally, the world revolves around Amazon. There's nothing you can't find on Amazon. There's nothing you can't buy on Amazon that you can buy in a regular store. Amazon has put so many companies out of business at this point that, and honestly, usually I don't feel bad for the businesses that Amazon kind of takes out because some of the businesses really just can't keep up. Like they refuse to keep up. Like sometimes you can't, if you can find something on Amazon for $12.99, but I'm at Target or not Target because Target's not out of business, but if I'm at another local store and y'all trying to charge, I don't know, like $19.99 for the same item, and I can get it on Amazon for $13. Yes, I'm gonna buy it on Amazon, point blank, period. I don't care if you're a local business or not. Let me tell you something. If you're a local business, you better learn how to compete because my thing is this, sweetheart. I can get it from Amazon in probably 1 or 2 days, and I can save a boatload of money. And if I do that a lot, if I keep continuing to do that, I'm gonna eventually save so much money that it's gonna make a huge difference over the course of a month, 6 months, a year. So just because you're down the street and you're a local mom and pop, that don't mean you can overcharge. People take it way too far. People are always trying to promote, oh, go to mom and pop, support your local. No, it don't work that way. If you want to be supported, I'm gonna need to be supported as well. If you're local, then that means I'm also local. So then you know the struggle that we're having locally. So don't be over here trying to gouge and charge the highest you can when you know people can buy it online. So you better get with the times or Amazon is going to take you out like they take everybody else out. So I'm just going to tell you right now. So when it comes to Amazon, I do like Amazon. However, Amazon, I don't like the situation. It's not a good look, sis. And here's the thing with flex drivers, or just really Amazon warehouse workers, period. Because I know a lot of people. I've worked at a warehouse before too. When you work at a warehouse, you're with other people that are like minded. The hustle mentality. We're just trying to make ends meet, that type of thing. So for you to even take a dime from somebody without even telling them, to me, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. Amazon, you are way too big. You're way too big, way too powerful, way too rich to be trying to take little pennies like that from people. It ain't even that serious, Amazon. It's really not that serious. And from what I hear, you use it for your own selfish gain. That's another thing I got an issue with is how big do you want to grow? At this point, you've taken everybody out the market. How big do you really want to get? Are you trying to get so big that all of us work for you and we buy from you and we survive off for you? Child's monopoly, if I ever heard one. Amazon, look, half these people that work in Amazon spend half their paycheck on Amazon again. So it's like a big freaking circle, and it's a big scheme. Not even a scheme, it's just like a big monopoly at this point. You work for Amazon, you spend your money on Amazon, you go back and work for Amazon again, put the money back into their pocket, they pay you, you put it back into their pocket. That's basically how Amazon is working at this point because it's so freaking large. And I don't have a problem with it because here's the thing. They didn't like get this way like overnight. It took some time to really ramp up. Because I remember at some point I didn't know who Amazon even was. Like I knew eBay, but I didn't know nothing about Amazon. I thought Amazon just sold books, but they got so big, and honestly, they are successful for a reason. And it's not, they didn't get that way just somebody gave it to them. Like they built that business. So I have nothing but respect for Amazon in that regard. But at some point, you have to also care about the people that work for you. Like it's just despicable in my opinion. It really, really is. Like these are human people with families and stuff, and you low key are taking money from them. They had to go start a whole freaking lawsuit just to get it back. Ugh, child, just a freaking mess. What is the world really coming to at this point? The world's just so ghetto right now. I can't even take it. And the wealth gap is just horrendous at this point. All I see right now are people struggling and hustling and making not even enough money to like survive in the areas that they live in. It's so ridiculous. Over here in California where I live at, let me tell you something. For $500,000, you can't even get a 10-year-old house. Like literally, for $500,000, you're probably living in a condo or a townhouse with 2 bedrooms, maybe 2 baths if you're lucky, if you live in LA. So not even true. LA just probably like a 1 bedroom, to be honest with you. Who are we kidding? LA is a 1 bedroom. And it's really, really old in the hood for $500,000. So you're gonna have security bars, a screen door, and probably a roommate in a 1 bedroom. Let's just keep it real. So Amazon is over here paying, $18 an hour tops in these types of areas, and it's just like I don't even know how people can continue to even do it, to be honest with you, because to me it's almost becoming to a point where it's like, it sounds really bad for me to say this, but it's almost like, is this really what I'm living for? Like, am I living for to go to work 8 hours a day, make pennies, and spend it back on the company that gave you the pennies? Like, it's so sad to see what it's come to at this point. Nobody has the money for vacation. Nobody has money to do the things that they did, like back in the boomer days, where houses were like $60,000. People made $80,000 a year. That kind of stuff. That type of stuff just does not exist anymore. You gotta hustle, hustle, hustle. You spend so much time working trying to make the pennies that you make. You don't even have time to enjoy it at this point. And you got people out here Ubering, DoorDashing, Postmating. These are the jobs that people are left with, and it's so sad because when I'm at the grocery store, half the people in line are Postmates, delivery people, and I'm just like, it's 7 o'clock at night. Like I'm over here buying stuff for dinner, and they're still delivering for other people to make their dinner, and it's just like, at what point are they gonna get to go home and make dinner for their own kids and their own families? And I feel really bad because I used to do Uber back in the day. When I was unemployed, technically, I guess I wasn't unemployed if I was with Uber, but I was unemployed, so I did Uber, and I made the thing with Uber, it was just that, like, it was so, like, unpredictable. Like, you really couldn't live off of that, in my opinion. Some people really did. I couldn't because, it was the pay fluctuated so much depending on what time you drove, how many people were out, obviously the time of day varied a lot. Was it the weekend? Was it the party scene? But here's the thing: you can make a lot of money in the party scene if you're driving people to clubs, driving people from the club, provided they don't throw up in your car, because that's bound to happen when you drop people up from clubs. They're gonna throw up in your car. It wasn't me. I drove people to clubs a lot, but I did not pick people up from clubs. I would drive people to clubs like at 8, 9, 10, sometimes even as late as 11. But at midnight, I would like turn off my app. So I'm done. I'm not picking people up from a club trunk. It's not happening. So, but here's the thing with that: if you're young and you're driving people to clubs to make money from Uber, you can't go out to the club because you're taking people to clubs. So that's your job. So you're missing out. But it's just like I just think it's sad. That whole situation with Amazon is just sad because those people work so freaking hard to deliver those packages. And if you see these people, I don't know what their metrics are, but I assume they're pretty tough because these people literally jump out the Amazon vans, run up the driveway, run back down, sprinting back to the van. They take off within freaking 30 seconds. And they don't half the time they deliver the packages to the wrong people. In my neighborhood, like we have an app that the neighbors go on, they conversate, they interact with each other. All I see on there is, hey, has anybody seen my Amazon package? It says it was delivered, but it's not by my door. I looked at the picture and it's by somebody else's door, but it ain't my door. I don't recognize that. I don't recognize that welcome mat. Amazon, you a mess. You a mess. Give these people a break. Give them their coins back. First of all, stop playing so much. And give these drivers some reasonable expectations and metrics so they can actually deliver the correct packages to the correct recipients. Maybe you should do that because if you did that, you wouldn't have so many people calling you for a refund because they didn't receive their package. How about that? Amazon, this is the thing. If you're going to take over the world, I need you to be fair. Pay people what they deserve. Give them more money so they can actually, get out of the situations that they're in and they can actually elevate themselves in lives. Because the way you pay people at Amazon at this point, you're going to have them enslaved to you forever because they're not going to make enough money to get out of any bad situation. They're going to be paycheck to paycheck forever because the areas that you pay, it ain't even just Amazon for that matter. In California, nobody really pays a living wage. Nobody really does. You can make $100,000, and let's just be real, in California, that's not a living wage, period. It's just not. So I'm not even going to give that too much to Amazon because they're not the only ones. And it's part of it is just because California is so expensive, but I just think that at some point you kind of have to keep up and have people. People are just, at this point, we're all kind of just slaves to being. It's just so sad. So Amazon, like I said, give people their coins back. You was wrong for that. That lawsuit was $64 million. I think it was 64 or 62, whatever it was. You deserve it because you had no business taking the people's coin. And if you're gonna do that, you should let them know, and they can decide if they still want to work for you or not. They probably still would have. But here's the thing: you were so sneaky and shady about it. You're trying to scam people, and now they had to sue you. And I'm glad they did. And I'm glad you got the exposure that you got. So you deserve it. Anyway, that's my video. I will see y'all next time. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Deuces.